Add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So I really hope that we're okay with adding and subtracting. That should be the easy part. Multiplying, once we get into like the cube of binomial and stuff, obviously going to be a little bit harder, but they have a form that they follow, so hopefully won't be too bad. So jumping right in, adding and subtracting, so it says to find the sum or the difference. So number 4, we've got in parentheses x squared minus 3x plus 5, and then minus, in another parentheses, negative 4x squared plus 8x plus 9. All right, so what we've got going on here is subtraction. Now, I'm going to tell you that a lot of times I will rewrite the problem with this negative sign distributed through here, because the most common mistake is people not getting this minus on everything. So I would either recommend you rewrite this, or that you're really intentional about saying it like x squared minus a negative 4x, which would be what?
X squared minus a negative 4x is 5x squared.
Yes, so 5x squared. And then negative 3x minus 8x would be negative 11x. And then 5 minus 9 is negative 4. So you just need to be really intentional. Don't just like skip over this sign in the middle if you're going to not do it by rewriting it. Now, something like 8, where I've got 2a squared minus 8 minus a cubed plus 4a squared minus 12a plus 4. What's different about this one compared to the first one? Huh?
The terms are different. Like there's no a cubed in the first one and that.
Right. So there are some pieces missing. So you have to remember, like, even though there's not like an a cubed or an a term in the first one, we still have to subtract it when we're done. So this is one where it might be beneficial for you to just rewrite it and then write everything in standard form. So I would probably do this one and just say 2a squared minus 8, and then distribute this negative, minus a cubed minus 4a squared plus 12a minus 4, something like that. And then combine like terms and write it in standard form, which would be negative a cubed, 2a squared minus 4a squared is negative 2a squared, plus 12a, and then minus 12. Is probably how I would do that one, so that you don't lose terms, because people often forget about the terms if there's not one of them in the first one especially. If there's not one in the second one, they usually don't like have that issue, but I would say this particular type of problem are the ones where people are going to make a mistake if they're going to make one. Let's see, 12. We've got 3y squared minus 6y to the 4th plus 5 minus 6y, and then plus, in another parentheses, 5y to the 4th minus 6y cubed plus 4y. So this one has more terms in the first one than the second one. There's also some terms that are in the first and not in the second, which like comes with that. But this is an addition problem. So you can kind of just follow and do like terms if you want. You can, I don't know. You just need to make sure that you get all the terms. If you need to like underline the things that are the same to make sure you get everything, you can do that. Your answer ultimately needs to be written in standard form. So if you want to go ahead and write it that way, or if you want to write it in whatever order and then go back and do it in standard form later, that's fine too. But I'm just going to go straight to standard form. So I'm going to do the y to the fourth. So negative 6y to the fourth plus 5y to the fourth would be negative y to the fourth. Now, I don't have a cubed term in this first one. However, I do have a cubed term in the second one, and it's plus negative 6y cubed. And I'm just saying that because if it was minus, you would need to make sure you put that minus sign through there. Then squared, I only have a squared term in the first one, so that's plus 3y squared. Then the y terms, I've got a negative 6y plus a 4y, so that's negative 2y. And then constant term, I just have it in the first one, so plus 5. So however you want to do it to get to the answer and get it in standard form is fine with me. I do not care, but that is what I would do myself. Any questions on that kind? Are we okay with adding and subtracting? No, I don't have any questions, or no, I'm not okay with adding and subtracting.
No. I mean, yes.
No. All right, multiplying polynomials.
Would you say this is fun?
I mean, I like it. I don't. But this is probably my favorite math in general, like algebra 2, so. All right, 16. X times 2x squared minus 5x plus 7. So problem like this, you just have to distribute. There's just 3 things that you're distributing it to. Answer should always be written in standard form. If like it's not already in that order, you should make sure that you do that. So distributing this, I would get 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 7x, and that would be your answer. I'm going to skip the one that's just normal foiling because I trust y'all know how to foil by this point. 20. W plus 4 times W squared plus 6W minus 11. So pretty much anything bigger than just like a variable plus a number times a variable minus a number or whatever. I usually say superfoil because you've got to basically make sure that every piece goes to everything in here. So this is going to be W going to W squared to 6W into negative 11, and then 4 going to W squared to 6W and negative 11. So you just have to make sure that you get all the pieces in there. So I'm going to do W times everything in the last one first. So that's going to give me W cubed plus 6W squared minus 11W. And then to the 4 times everything, it's going to give me plus 4W squared plus 24W minus 44. Yep, combine like terms and write it in the right order. So I'm going to get W cubed plus 10W squared plus 13W.
Wait, is it not supposed to be 44W?
No, because it's 11 times 4.
Right, but it's, is it not 11 times W and then,
It's
It's
W
separate
times
things.
everything on the right and then 4 times everything on the
oh,
right.
you add the sections together. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, let's see, minus 44. Negative D squared plus 4D plus 3 times 3D squared minus 7D plus 6. So this one, now instead of just 2 things getting multiplied by everything in the second one, there's 3 things. So this is an even bigger superfoil. So it's going to be d squared times everything in here. So that's going to give me a negative 3d to the fourth plus 7d cubed minus 6d squared. And that takes care of the first one. So d squared has been multiplied by everything over here. Now I'm doing 4d by everything in here. So plus 12d cubed minus 28d squared plus 24d. So I've now done 4d times everything in here. So lastly, I do 3 times everything over here, which is going to give me 9d squared minus 21d plus 18. Now you have to combine like terms. You've got to really make sure you pay attention and get them all, because obviously there's a lot happening here. So I get negative 3d to the fourth. Then the cube terms, I only have 2 of them, so 7 and 12, that makes 19, so 19d cubed. Squared terms, I have 3 of them, so I've got negative 6, I'm going to do it this way, negative 6 and 9 is 3, and then negative 28 plus 3 would be negative 25, so negative 25d squared. Then I have 2 just d terms, so 24d minus 21d would be 3d, and then plus 18 for the constant term. And that would be your answer.
This is a lot. At least we don't have to graph it.
Don't jinx it.
No, we don't graph this stuff. All right, some more multiplying, but a little bit different.
Wait, for the, okay, it's negative 25d squared, right?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Sorry. I was confused.
All right, we're still multiplying, but now we're multiplying 3 binomials. So I've got x plus 4 times x minus 6 times x minus 5.
I feel like I saw this last chapter and got it wrong.
A lot of this stuff kind of comes up in other ways, and then I don't know. It's weird. Like, I know y'all have superfoiled before.
I don't know. What is superfoiling? Is that just like
This is just what I call something like this, where it's like
Okay.
you're multiplying every piece in there. All right, so when you have one like this, we're going to multiply. We treat it as if this x minus 5 doesn't exist for the moment. We're just going to multiply the first 2, simplify it down, and then we're going to, quote-unquote, superfoil times x minus 5 to get the final answer. So x plus 4 times x minus 6, what do you get when you do that?
x squared outside
Minus 2x.
minus 2x
Negative 24.
minus 24.
Yep. So we had plus 4x minus 6x, which gave us the minus 2x in the middle, in case we're not tracking. So now I have x squared minus 2x minus 24 times x minus 5. That was in there. So then now I multiply each piece by the stuff in the second one. So x squared times each of these things would give me x cubed minus 5x squared. And then multiply the negative 2x by the stuff over here. Negative 2x squared plus 10x. Then multiply the negative 24 by the stuff in here. So minus 24x and then plus 120. And then just need to combine like terms, which these are actually in order, which is nice. So x cubed minus 7x squared minus 14x plus 120. All right, I want you to try the next one on your own, just like this one. And then we'll go over it. And then we have a couple more things in this section. 4x minus 1 times negative 2x minus 7 times negative 5x minus 4. So this one might be a little more involved than the previous one, but you do the same thing. So multiply the first two together, simplify it down until you get to something like what I had in this first parentheses, and then multiply it by your last parentheses over here.
Oh yeah.
You have an answer?
Yes, ma'am.
What do we get?
40x cubed plus 162x squared plus 69x minus 28.
Everybody agree?
Yes, we did.
Yes. I don't agree, but I'm usually wrong.
Charlotte
So.
got it wrong.
So when I did the first set of multiplication of foiling, I got negative 8x squared minus 28x plus 2x plus 7, and then simplified that to negative 8x squared minus 26x plus 7. Multiply that by the negative 5x minus 4. Got everything that you see written there in the next step, and then ultimately got the answer of 40x cubed plus 162x squared plus 69x minus 28. Now, you could have also multiplied to begin with the second two terms and then like simplified that and then multiplied by 4x minus 1. I've done that way before as well, and totally fine. You can do it either way. But anyways, any questions on that? All right. Number 38, find the product. These are special products, so you shouldn't be listing them out like this. You should be using the special product form to do them. So, 38, x plus 5 times x minus 5. What would that factor into?
X squared minus 25.
X squared minus 25, because that is a difference of squares.
Difference of squares. Still don't know what that is.
It's this.
X squared
I'm going to refresh you on a cube of a binomial because this is probably new. So a plus b cubed is a cubed plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cubed. Or if we have a minus b cubed, we would get a cubed minus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared minus b cubed. That's going to be the form that we have for this. So, that's what we need for these next couple. Number 40, I've got y plus 4 cubed. Okay, so notice that your terms are in descending order, so it's a cubed, then a squared, then the a is gone. Over here, there's no b, then there's a b, then there's a b squared, then there's a b cubed. Middle terms are 3's, outer terms are 1's. So, following this pattern, this would be, I'm going to write this out like instead of multiplying this stuff already in one step, which you will be allowed to do. I'm going to show it as like written with whatever it is in parentheses, being cubed, squared, whatever. So, the first thing would be y cubed plus 3 times y squared times b is 4, so 4, plus 3 times y times b squared is 4 squared, so that's 16. Actually, hold on. Let me write it this way as 4 squared so that we can see it. And then plus 4 cubed.
So y is the cubed on the outside on our first y, but the squared is on the inside for our second one?
Just because of where I put it, it doesn't matter. It's going to give you the same thing either way. If you want me to do it for consistency, I'll do it like that.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if it gave us a different answer.
No, well, it could, but no. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, it could.
Silly.
If it was a negative number being plugged in there, then it could be a problem. So it's better to write on the outside. But these were positive, which is why I wasn't doing that. So now, we still want numbers then letters, obviously. So this is going to be y cubed plus 12 y squared plus, what is that, 16 times 3, 48, y plus 64. Yeah. And that would be your answer.
This section is easy, it's just really long.
All right, let's do one that is a minus 1. 42. 3t minus 4 cubed. So this is another situation where it'll be important that I put the exponents on the outside because it's going to go on the whole piece. 3t is a and 4 is b, and then the signs obviously are given to me up here. So notice they're alternating signs for the minus 1. So I've got first term cubed, so 3t cubed minus 3 times the first term squared, so 3t squared times the last term 4 plus 3 times the first term, which is 3t, times the last term squared, which is 4 squared, and then minus the last term 4 cubed. And notice the signs do not go with it. Like, I'm not plugging in a negative 4, I'm plugging in 4. The signs are already accounted for in the formula that's given to me. So this ends up giving me, 27t cubed minus, 12 times 9 was that 108, negative 108 t squared
Times what?
12 times 12 is 144, so 144t, and then minus, was that 64? Same thing as before. And that would be your answer for that one. Any questions on those? All right, I'm gonna give you one to do to make sure that you know what you're doing.
What if it was negative 3t? Would I be putting in negative 3t?
Yeah. If it was a negative number on the first thing, then yeah, the sign would go with it. The formula only accounts for the negative on the last term. All right, one I want you to do on your own, and then we'll go over it, and then I'll give you your problems. 7x minus y cubed. So notice this one has two variables, which probably will actually make it a little easier.
Okay, here we go.
But take a minute and do that one.
How come you didn't pull out a negative 4? It was just a 4 for the b.
So set that, Zach.
Why are your AirPods in?
Oh, you're right. I just had a question also.
Okay, well the AirPods are gonna become mine.
Yeah.
But what's your question?
So for the negative 4, how come you pulled out only a 4 instead of the negative 4?
Hold on one second. I'm finishing up with them and I'll bring them to you.
Okay.
Because the formula, the way it's written, oh, well, you can't see it right now, but the formula, the way it's written, is such that it already has accounted for that being negative. That's why it's that way.
So, the formula is a cubed minus 3a squared b, right?
Yeah. That's why the signs don't go with it.
The signs don't go with it. So then on this one here,
It's gonna work the same way.
the same way, and we would take only the y instead of the negative.
Correct. It'll be just like the 4.
So it would be,
I don't think I did this right. If I,
think I copied the formula. It's a cubed minus 3a right there.
you copied it right.
Minus, no, I didn't because it's three.
A cubed plus 3ab squared b plus 3ab
Minus,
squared.
yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You copied it all right.
But then the positive one is 3 cubed minus, no, plus 3.
The only difference with the negative one
Is the first
this
one
is negative and this one's negative.
But you only pull, when you're substituting, you only pull the term, not the sign with it.
Yes, so for your second term, you don't take the sign. But with the first term, you take the sign if there's something in front of it. So if it was like, if it was negative 3t minus 4, you would be putting in negative 3t and positive 4.
Yeah, you would only put 3t in.
No, you would put the negative 3t in if it was negative.
If the first term is negative, you have to put the negative with it. But they don't often give you one like that.
So only if it was a negative 3t, you put negative 3t.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you could just use the positive formula, but then just plug in a negative number for the positive one?
Was that trailer?
I don't know what you mean.
Like, instead of memorizing the second formula, not that I wouldn't, like, it's easier, but doesn't that mean that, like, if you have a plus b cubed, like, if b is negative 1, then you could plug in negative 1 for b, right?
Yes.
Instead of plugging 1 in for the negative formula.
Yes.
Okay.
They've just already taken care of that for you in the formula.
Yeah.
I thought you meant if the first term was negative, you could just use the positive formula. And I was like, well, it just depends on what they give you. That's why I was confused.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So for this one, it would be
this what we got?
What the heck?
Did you not cube 7?
I cubed. Oh no, I didn't.
I mean, I kind of did. I just left it as 7 cubed because it was.
7 cubed.
That's one of those rare ones that, like, I couldn't honestly tell you what 6 cubed is off the top of my head, but 7 cubed, when I taught Algebra 1, the very first time I taught it, for some reason, 7 cubed kept being a popular number that we had in, like, a ton of problems, and now it's just stuck in my head.
Yeah, I would have probably did that.
So I
would
got-
just have to like multiply it out.
I got everything. Wait, x squared. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I see.
This is 7x squared.
So wait, I thought
And y.
the second
I am
part of that was.
With my new folder,
Never mind.
it opened so majestically.
Did you figure it out?
You get it?
I don't even know how to explain how I'm wrong, so I'm
I
just
inherited
letting it go.
A very majestic and aura-filled person.
All right, not a ton of problems. I would say if you are struggling with these, especially these last type that we did, that you probably should work a couple more. Even if you choose a couple even ones to do. Because you need to make sure that you know what you're doing.